super excited to welcome Shiri to the webinar. Shiri actually joined Imperva in 2013. She's our senior product manager for DataSecurity. Shiri has led science and innovation teams before joining this product team, and of course, she's been in the industry over 20 years. So Shiri, thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Thank you. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. I'm very happy to be here today and to present the data security roadmap for 2021. Just a little bit about the agenda for today. I will start by presenting DB Security 2.0. This is our vision for data security. I will explain the value proposition for 2021. I will go over the different projects that enable this value proposition, sending audit to Sonar, the unified reporting platform that we develop on top of SonarK, the Kibana interface of Sonar, large-scale MX, and unified configuration console. After that, I will go briefly on the high-level architecture of DB Security 2.0, and before we will finish, I will go over the timeline of DB Security roadmap for this year, and also the DB assessments and entitlement roadmap for 2021. And with that, I will start presenting DB Security 2.0. This is our unified data-centric solution. I'm sure that all of you know that last year, Imperva purchased JSonar. The vision for our data security solution is DB Security 2.0, which is based on an end-to-end data-centric security platform that combines and leverages the advantages of both Imperva DAM and of JSonar into one holistic solution that supports both data repositories that are monitored using agent sensors and data repositories that are monitored using agentless sensors. This solution, this platform is made for enterprises in complex multi-hybrid environments, as most of you answered that you work in hybrid environments. The value proposition for 2021, the first thing is multi-year audit retention. I'm not sure if all of you know, this is an interesting story. JSonar has started as a data warehouse company. Obviously, it's evolved a lot from then, but still, the essence of Sonar is a very strong and efficient data warehouse, which we use it for the intelligence of managing audit data retention for many years, which will actually reduce the manual labor and IT footprint of weeks to minutes, because you can stop working with and managing all the archive files. You can work with Sonar data warehouse and query the data warehouse whenever needed, whenever an auditor asks you to see historical data from several years ago. On top of that, we have TCO and footprint reduction. The data warehouse of Sonar has a very efficient compression capabilities. It can compress in a ratio of 1:10, which will result in reducing of storage of up to 90%. Moreover, we invest in reducing the number of DAM appliances in your deployments. We are talking about large-scale MX, which means that each MX will be able to support more gateways compared to what it supports today, which will result in reduction of the number of MXs needing in deployment. And we also plan to invest in increasing the TPS of each gateway, which will result in the fact that each gateway will be able to support more agents, which will actually at the end will result in reduction of the appliances needed and also reduction of operational overhead. We are also adding unified reporting platform on top of SonarK, the Kibana interface of Sonar, with simplified, intuitive, and modernized UI which will allow reports on any live audit data managed in Sonar. We are planning to add a unified configuration console. This is a single pane of glass to configure and manage data repositories monitored by agent and agentless sensors. Again, we also invest a lot in the user experience with simplified and modernized UI. This year, we are also investing in unifying our analytics platform with Sonar capabilities. We will see extended DB as a service coverage, additional attacks use cases, integrated response and remediation. I am not going to elaborate more about this topic. I just want you to know that this is part of the overall offering that we have for this year. So let's start with the first project, sending audit to Sonar. I think this is the most fundamental or the base of all the value proposition that we have for this year. The DAM gateways will send audit events directly to Sonar. They will actually write BSON files to the Sonar data warehouse. There will also be an ability to load historical DAM audit archives from the different MXs to Sonar, which will actually allow you using the audit report capabilities, not only on new audit events, but also on old and historical audit events. We are sending security alerts to Sonar and also file audit for mainframe and HDFS to Sonar. All of that without any performance degradations to your environment. This will actually result in support unlimited data retention and intelligence in managing the data, and also efficient storage. The next project is the Unified Reporting Platform in Sonar. This is actually a project that has already, the first phase of it has already been released in the May Sonar version 4.4. So I will go over and present screenshots from the product itself. We are talking about simplified, intuitive, and modernized UI in Sonar that allows report configuration and report management. It allows reports on any data source that exists in Sonar. This could be audit events, security alerts, DRA alerts, and anything else, any data source that exists in Sonar. Due to the fact that we want to help our customer migrate, send their audit to Sonar and use Sonar as the audit reporting platform, we also add migration of the MX report definitions from the different MXs to Sonar, again, to help you move to the new unified reporting platform easily and in a simple way. So let's look a little bit about the screens in the product. We have the report management screen. When we access the unified reporting platform, we will access this screen. What we can see here is a list of the report definitions that exist in the system. Let's look for, as an example, on the first row, we have the name of the report, detectors report, the description, what the report contains, the data source on which the report runs, the status of the last run of the report. We can see here that all the 4 reports ran successfully, the time of the last run, the duration of the last run, when is the report scheduled, and the scheduling status. We can have here also report definitions that are paused and not running at the moment. Once we press the 3 dots, we can play or stop a report, we can edit a report, we can run a report now, duplicate the report definitions, or delete a report. Once we want to add a new report, we can press the Add Report button, and in both cases, when we want to add a report or edit a report, we will go to the following screen. This is actually the screen of the data in Kibana, in Sonar K. Here we can see a report that has already started to be defined. We can see here the report name, assets report. We can see the data source on which the report is configured. Here is its asset. We can see the selected field in the report here. We can see that the two selected fields are server port and server type. We can see in the right-hand side the columns and the rows that currently exist in this report. If we want to add a new field, we go to the available fields. We choose the relevant field we want to add, and then we can press the add button. There is also an option to add an aggregated field. Here we go to the selected fields. We choose aggregate, and we can configure which aggregation option we would want, whether it's count, unique count, add to set, first or last. There is also an option to add filters on the report. Adding filters is actually filtering the rows of the report. Here we can see a specific example where the filter that was chosen is server IP, is not in a specific IP address. Once we finish the configuration on the rows and the columns of the report, we continue by scheduling the report generation. There are 3 options, daily, weekly, or monthly, where you can choose the recurrence of the report. And for a more advanced capabilities, there is also the advanced option. And when we finish with the report configuration, we can save the report. Here, we can change the report name if we want to. We can add the description of the report. We see, but can't change the data source on which the report runs. We can choose whether to save the report in PDF or in CSV or in both, and whether to send it over email and what are the email parameters. As I said, this is the May version was the first version that the unified reporting platform was added to the product. We have a lot of plans and a lot of other initiatives we want to add to the unified reporting platform. One of them that I just want to mention that you will know that it is planned for the next version, for Q3 version, is to add the option to save the report as a dashboard. Here in Kibana, you can configure many different statistics and graphics, and you can run the reports with the dashboard besides as a table. The next project I want to mention, which is related to the TCO and footprint reduction, is the large-scale MX. Until now, the DAM gateway would have sent the audit events to the MX or to the different MXs. Going forward, the DAM gateway will send the audit events to Sonar. This actually means that the MX will become much lighter, which will allow us to increase the number of gateways that an MX can support. This will result in fewer systems to manage, fewer systems to protect, upgrade, secure, power, and so on. And in reality, it will reduce the resources to consume and also the operational overhead. The next project is the Unified Configuration Console. Due to the fact that we want to have one holistic data-centric security solution, we would want to have one place where we configure the different data repositories that are managed in the system, regardless of whether they're on-prem, in the cloud, or long-tail data repositories. So we'll have a single pane of glass for this configuration. We would also want to have a unified policy management from the Unified Configuration Console. And here also we invest a lot of thought to make it simple, to make it intuitive, and to make the user interface modernized. So here is a high-level view of the architecture of DB Security 2.0. Let's start with JSONer, the consumption layer of JSONer. This layer is talking to Sonar gateways. On the one hand side, it also talks to the different DAM gateways that send the audit events to Sonar W. The Sonar gateways are talking to the agentless data repositories. The DAM gateways are talking to the agents and in some cases to the servers themselves. We see that the JSONer consumption layer is also fed by the scanners, by the classification. We still have the SOM. The SOM is talking to the different MXs. The different MXs also have the vulnerability assessments. Currently, this is the same machine. Maybe in the future, we will think of an option to divide this capability from the MX. The vulnerabilities assessment themselves are also sent to VA 360 and VM 360, the vulnerability management 360 in JSONer. And now when we talk about the unified configuration console, the unified configuration console at the first phase will talk to the different MXs and will talk to the consumption layer of JSONer. On the one hand side, it will be able to receive existing configurations from Sonar and from the different MXs, because we know that we have a lot of customers with a lot of configuration in the different MXs. On the second side, it will be able to retrieve new configuration and send them to the different MXs and to JSONer. Currently, the UCC will be an application in JSONer. However, in the future, we are thinking of the option to run the UCC as a separate component, potentially as a SaaS component. I do want to emphasize that even if we will go to the SaaS option, it will only be an option. It will never be a mandatory solution. Okay, now I want to go over the timeline for the DB-Security 2.0 roadmap for 2021 and also the beginning of 2022. As I already said, in Q2 2021, in the May version, we already see the first version of the unified reporting platform in Sonar. We do plan to continue and invest in it during the year and add more and more capabilities. In Q3 2021, in the next version, we will have the ability of the DAM gateway to write audit events and security alerts directly to Sonar data warehouse, and the migration of audit reports definitions from the MX to Sonar. This will actually be an ideal version to start working with the unified solution for audit reporting, because here you can add Sonar, you have the new unified reporting capabilities, you can send all your audit events to Sonar without any performance degradations in your environments. In Q4 2021 and in Q1 2022, we will introduce the unified configuration console and the reduction in the number of DAM appliances, both MXs and gateways. Before I continue, before I finish, I just want to talk for a couple of minutes about the assessment tests and entitlements-based assessments that are planned for this year. We continue routinely to add support for DB as a services databases and also to more and more databases on-prem. And just if we can look on the high-level plan for 2021, we can see that in Q1 21, we added many assessments, all related to DB as a service for Oracle RDS, MySQL RDS, MS SQL RDS, Postgres RDS, and Azure MS SQL. All of these assessments are based on CIS and DISA benchmarks. We added entitlements for Postgres SQL and MongoDB. In Q2 2021, we added a new CIS benchmark for Postgres, both for version 11 and for version 12, and the support for assessments for Azure MySQL, again, based on CIS and DISA benchmark. Related to entitlements, we added a lot of DB as a service capabilities for MS SQL on RDS and GCP, for Postgres on RDS, Azure, and GCP, and for MySQL, again, for the 3 different clouds. In the remaining of the year, we continue and invest in adding assessments, scans for DB as a service databases, Aurora MySQL RDS, Aurora Postgres RDS, and MariaDB RDS, Azure Postgres, GCP, MySQL, and GCP Postgres SQL. And we also add the support for MongoDB CIS benchmark based on version 3.6, which is the last version that a CIS benchmark exists on for MongoDB. And we plan to add entitlements for Cassandra and SAP HANA. And now I'm ready to the question.
Will DAM gateway work in L2 inline bridge with active blocking?
So this is a good question. We're still thinking about this topic. At this point, the answer is yes, but this is still a bit of an open question. Let's see.
Are the entitlements on track for 2020 Q1?
So we can reshare the presentation here, and we can see which entitlement will be ready when. This is a work in progress, and we work according to priorities. So this is what we plan. The entitlements, Q1 and Q2 are already in the product, in the ADC content. In Q3 and Q4, we plan to add Cassandra and SAP HANA. We can't see it here, but next year, we also plan in the first half of 2022 to add also entitlements for Hadoop. And if you have customers that need other entitlements, please talk to me. I will prioritize it. And the team, we have now a pretty big team of DB researchers that work very hard, and they can add the requirements as long as they have the correct business value.
I've got to thank you for your answer on that. We've got lots of questions. Let me go ahead and try to hit them for you. Okay. When will Imperva database security support Tibero database?
So I don't have an answer for that. I need to talk to Kobe, who is in charge for the DB coverage roadmap. Please send an email both to me and Kobe, and I will make sure it will be answered over email.
Okay. Does the Red Hat or CentOS that runs on JSONAR have support for Imperva customers?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not sure which CentOS version runs on Sonar. I will need to check. I think it's 7 something. I don't remember. I will need to check, and I will get back with this answer as well.
One, if you can sharpen that question, maybe we'll have an answer for you, but certainly we'll follow up with the community. Don't worry, we'll come back around to the question.
Excellent.
With database stack 2.0 architecture, if the DAM gateways are talking to both Sonar and MX, does that mean audit logs are sent to both?
So the customer will need, in Q3 version, the answer is the customer could configure sending audit to the MX and to Sonar, but this is only a transition period. Going forward, the customer will need to choose whether to send the audit to the MX or to Sonar. Obviously, it's not a good practice to send the audit both to the MX and to Sonar, because the customer will experience performance degradation here, and there is no reason. Once you have the audit reports in Sonar, you don't need it in the MX as well, but we will have a version of transition period when the customer could do both.
Okay, I'm going to circle back around. Craig, thank you for articulating this a little bit better. The question that we had earlier, Craig says, I think he is asking if we will support the platform Sonar is running on, or if customers would need to go to CentOS or Red Hat. And someone else wrote, Rich wrote, CentOS 7X. 7.x.
Yeah, so this is what I know. I don't remember the exact version, but definitely 7 something.
Okay, great. If we integrated DAM with Sonar, do we need DRA?
Of course, we need DRA. As I said, one of the initiatives that I didn't talk about, because Ziv, the product manager of DRA, will address it in a different time. We have an initiative for the unified analytics platform that integrates DRA with the unified solution of DAM and Sonar, but I will not go into the details here.
Okay. What's the future of SOM once large-scale MX is supported?
So our vision that at some point, once we will have the large-scale MX and we will have the unified configuration console deployed for our customers, SOM will not be needed anymore. However, we understand that it will be, again, a transition period and an iterative change. But our vision is that at some point, SOM will be redundant.
Okay, we got a follow-up question. On the follow-up to the audit logs to MX or Sonar, what is the recommended approach? Send it to Sonar? If that's the case, will we still need the MX?
So our recommended approach is, of course, to send the audit events to Sonar, because then you will, this is the only way you can enjoy all the value proposition I've just talked about. We will need the MX for configurations. Again, at some point, the MX, our vision is that the MX will be a back-end tool, that the unified configuration console will be the front end. With that, the customer would configure the system, and it will talk to the MX as a back-end tool. However, again, we are in a transition period, and we are doing this change one step after the other. And even if customer would use the unified configuration consoles, there are advanced configuration, at least in the first versions, that will not be supported using the unified configuration console. And then the customer could continue and support the MX. But again, it's for configuration and not for retrieving audit and the audit reporting.
Okay, I think we're up to date on the questions. I hope I haven't missed anything. Will we still be able to run reports on data from 5 years ago?
Well, as long as the data that is the data is saved in Sonar W, you can run report on this data. You could query the data in Sonar data warehouse in a very fast way. In a couple of minutes, you could be able to create reports for even data from 5 or 6 or 7 years ago.
Excellent, great. Okay, here we go. How will Sonar help to reduce the MXs and GWs in hybrid setup?
So we send the audit events to Sonar, which will result in the fact that each MX will be lighter. It will not do the audit reporting. It will not need to produce the audit and process activities related to the audit. Thus, it will be lighter. It will be a configuration tool, hopefully at some point, a back-end configuration tool. And this will help us start moving towards large-scale MX, where one MX will be able to configure and support more than 15 gateways as it is today. The second question was about the gateway, the reduction in gateway appliances. This is not directly related to Sonar, but indirectly it is also related. We will invest time in optimizations in the gateway work, which will result in increasement of the transactions per second that the gateway could support, and will actually result in the fact that each gateway will be able to support more agents compared to today.
Okay, we've got a question from Walter. With UCC, will we still need the SOM?
So I answered this question.
Oops, sorry.
Yes, I've just said that the vision is that at some point the SOM will be redundant. It will probably take some time.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your time. And any question, any request, any concern, I'm here, and I will be very happy to talk to you and hear your questions and answer them, of course. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.